Big game for this Houston Texans team. And Harley, I think I've said this a couple of times to you, but I am loving this big game experience that not only our players, but our coach and staff is also getting in the first year of this rebuild. I think that is gonna bode well for the future. I think it's gonna just season everyone. And in 2 to 3 years, man, you're gonna have a team that doesn't have a weakness anywhere.
It's fun to talk about, huh? Never thought we'd be in this situation, but hey, here we are. Again, the expectations are higher. You need to win this game. You should win this game, damn it. You
Mm.
are a good team. Like, this isn't no, oh, well, maybe. No. You should win this game. You're at home. I know the Broncos are hot. Texans need to win this game, and they should win this game.
100%. And before we continue, guys, this episode brought to you by Bet Online. The holiday season is often rolling with NFL in full stride and the NBA and NHL hitting mid-season form. Bet Online is your number one destination for all your sports wagering info. With up-to-the-minute sports wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions, Bet Online is the top spot for everything pro and amateur sports.
And not just the big four, BetOnline has info available at your fingertips with both desktop and mobile access at any time for almost any sport that is played. That is from MMA to international soccer. Head to the BetOnline today. Head to the BetOnline today, and remember to use our promo code BLEAV BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Nick
Nick
is
is
still standing on business.
standing on business.
35 to
Ah.
3 Texans. I love the confidence. Can you imagine if we did that?
Oh man. Now you want to talk about putting the last week behind you. Hey, putting that L behind you. Okay. 35-3. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm down for that.
Mm. Lorenzo said, Ruben, I'm gonna need some tailgate tent recommendations for the Browns game. You know, me and Harley always go to the Nuff Said tailgate in the Blue Lot. We were just there on Sunday. They are sponsored by St. Arnold's. They are sponsored by Sunny D Seltzers. I tried them, Harley, not bad. And I really
Really?
thought I was not gonna like this. Sunny D Seltzer exactly tastes just like champagne orange juice, man.
Okay. A little
It's
mimosa.
really good. Also sponsored by this old whiskey, and I'm like, man, these guys
Oh,
know how to have a
oh,
good time.
old
Oh,
whiskey's good.
there were some Swedes there, right? Some Sweden people. They were playing nothing
Mm-hmm.
but EDM music, Sweet Caroline. It was bumping. So the Nuff Sale tailgaters in the Blue Lot, Harley. I feel like we've said this multiple times this season. This is a big game for this Houston Texans team. You are welcoming the 6-5 Denver Broncos, who are the hottest team in the NFL right now. Winners of their last five. They have got it going. Their defense has really stepped it up. Harley, what is your confidence level heading into Sunday?
Oh man. Screw it. I'll go 6 out of 10.
60%. You're a
I'll
little
go. I'll
worried.
go 6 out of 10. Because there is the worry of, man, we lose this game, the playoffs and the chances die down real hard.
Mm-hmm.
And to fall 6-6, that would be tough, absolutely tough. For this game in general, you're looking at a Broncos team that is on a hot streak. They're playing really good ball. Their defense is really picking up the slack now, and Russell Wilson is doing enough to win games for this Denver Broncos team. They've averaged on their 5 game winning streak 23.4 points a game. Not so bad with a strong defense to pair up in a good run game that they are going to have to use in order to beat the Texans. This Texans team, expectations are heavier,
Mm-hmm.
as this season goes on. And it's going to be interesting to see how can they play with expectation. And they had a fantastic game against the Bengals. You know, Next game is the Jags game, and well, not the Jags game. You had the Cardinals, but then the Jags game really is what we're
Mhm.
talking about here. What I'm inferring is, hey, that was a game that you needed to win, and not just for the division, but for playoff purposes. And you lost that game, and I know everyone's gonna say refereeing, whatever. You lost the game. Bottom line, like we all know different rumors and news with the Texans, but at the end of the day, Nick Casario hired David Coley and Lovie Smith. There's context with it, but we know at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like, so the
Mhm.
Houston Texans, they took an L to the Jaguars. They can't take another L with the Broncos. And there is some worry. There is some worry after what I just said. There is some worry that the Houston Texans, you don't want them to fall to the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson. The fan base has been on my YouTube channel for the past 2 days since we did the live stream with Patrick
Mhm.
Chiotti. Fan base can, they can, I'll give them a DX. Suck it. How about that? How about that?
Man, I'm gonna say a 7 out of 10. I still
Mm,
think the Houston Texans are the better football team.
yes.
I think that they are going to rise to the occasion like they have been doing. Right, this team has not been blown out. Knock on wood, they have been competitive in every single one of these games. I think it is gonna come down to our passing attack against the Denver Broncos secondary. And I know that's crazy, right? Why are you going at their strength? I think we match up a little bit well against them. Here's where I say that. We know who's going to cover Nico Collins. It's going to be Patrick Surtain.
Mhm.
Majority of the game. I don't see anyone stopping Tank Dell. And if Noah Brown plays as well, I mean, welcome back. Last time we seen him back-to-back 150-yard games. I think it just increases in the offense. Then you add to the fact that the worst run defense in the NFL, allowing 5 yards a carry. It should sound like the Houston Texan offense should have the advantage on the ground, but maybe that's what they want you to do, just like what Carolina did. When we knew Carolina was horrible in the run defense, that's all we did. Took the ball out of CJ Stroud's hands. No, I say we go at this Denver Broncos secondary.
Why not, man? I mean, you have CJ Stroud. You just got Aaron Wilson confirming hours ago that Tank Dell himself said that he's good to go for Sunday.
Mm.
Noah Brown is back. Nico Collins. All right. Who else am I missing? Robert Woods is there. Who else am I missing? Is I missing someone? I feel like I'm missing someone.
Everyone
No,
was there.
that is everyone that is supposed to be healthy. It's been a long time since this wide receiver group has been fully healthy together. If maybe since week one, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we're going far back there. So the Houston Texans have a healthy wide receiving core. Now I know without the Dalton Schultz at tight end, enter Brevin Jordan at tight
Mm-hmm.
end, do we get to see the Houston Texans now play with more three wide receiver sets? And we get to see a little bit more four wide receiver. Who knows? But I'm definitely down for CJ Stroud in the shotgun with three receivers, one running back, one tight end. Like, I'm happy with that. I'm happy to see that. Anytime I see CJ Stroud, fully healthy wide receivers, the way we've been playing, our receivers specifically have been playing.
Mm.
And hello, Noah Brown. It's nice to
Mm-hmm.
see you again.
Welcome back.
Um, yeah, little just a buck 50 his last performance, whenever he was healthy. He's starting to get the moniker 7-11
Mm.
because he's open 24/7, man.
Mm.
I mean, it's just that dude has just been on fire with CJ Stroud. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's an Ohio State thing, whatever connection they got. I can't wait to see more of it this Sunday, and I'm excited to get it going, man. I'm excited to see what CJ Stroud can do against the Denver Broncos secondary.
Yeah, before we continue with the game, I have the final injury report here, Harley, and you can react to it. Questionables: Noah Brown, Tank Dell, Sheldon Rankins, Jake Hansen. I think everyone plays.
Yeah.
Maybe Sheldon Rankins does not. However, I am kind of worried about that. He's your best pass rushing defensive tackle, despite having no pass rush last week against Jacksonville. I mean, you need him out there trying to get to the quarterback. Dalton Schultz being out is surprising. Didn't practice all week with a hamstring injury. We might see him out for more time, as well as Jimmy Ward, who is back, but didn't put on IR, but we saw hamstring injury and it just continued week after week after week after week. Other than that, Jimmy Ward, Laramie Tunsil, CJ Stroud, George Fant on the injury list, but 100% ready to go Sunday. And I think Jimmy Ward coming back means a lot for the Houston Texans. They play so different on defense when he is out there compared to when he's not. And this will be the first time all season, Harley, that the Houston Texans secondary is healthy. Derek Stingley, Steven Nelson, Jimmy Ward, Jalen Petrie, they will all be there against Denver Broncos. I am excited to see how they play.
Yeah, me too. The secondary has so much potential, so much. And Jalen Petrie, regardless of the critiques that he's been getting,
Mm.
I hope that maybe he just plays better with better talent around him. Maybe it masks his deficiencies with a Jimmy Ward next to him, now a Derek Stingley, now Steven Nelson. I'm excited to see what this secondary can do against Russell Wilson. Maybe create some turnovers. He's had 0 interceptions in the last 5 games, hence their winning streak. 8 touchdowns, no interceptions from Russell Wilson. Maybe they create a turnover, man. Maybe they get something going. But like you said, Jimmy Ward, it just seems like the defense is different when that man is healthy. He's definitely a leader of this team. But I go back to like the Jaguar game when you didn't have Jalen Petrie, you had Jimmy Ward. The first Jaguar game when you had Jimmy Ward come back from injury, and that defense absolutely looked really good with Jimmy Ward back there. Now pairing with Jalen Petrie. Hey, man, we never seen him before. I'm excited to see what we got because what we saw in training camp, whoa, like the secondary was just, oh, okay, this is legit.
Yeah. And the passing attack from the Broncos, I mean, I don't think it's that strong. Last week, Russell Wilson, 134 yards, 1 touchdown. He also added 34 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown as well. Just like you said, he is doing just enough to win football games. But we've seen this secondary get diced up all year. I mean, we just saw 364 yards to Trevor Lawrence. Desmond Ridder had a career day. I wonder if this Denver Broncos receiving core, who could get yards after the catch, which has been a weakness for the secondary so far, I wonder how they're going to match up. That's why I myself, Hardy, I think this could potentially be a shootout. I'm thinking 28-21. I mean, maybe if that, right? A lot of Denver Broncos fans are expecting their offense to finally pick up the slack in this 5-game winning streak. But I think the Houston Texans match up well. And if you do not play afraid of that secondary, you might find yourself in good positions. But your thoughts on this secondary going against the Denver Broncos receiving core, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Marvin Mims, the rookie, and their running backs could do some damage in the backfield as well.
I mean, we got to highlight the slot receivers. Like, we got to highlight who's going to be playing in the slot for the Denver Broncos. Marvin Mims is that guy. Jerry Jeudy, they play in the slot as well. Why do we got to highlight the slot? We just saw last week Tavier Thomas get absolute burnt toast against the Jaguars over and over and over. I mean, it was ridiculous what we saw from his performance in the slot this last week. It looked a little bit like training camp. It looked like that. Like, I remember taking away from training camp, me and you were going, man, what are we going to do with Tavier Thomas? Like, is he going to make the team?
Yeah.
And he ended up making the team with Desmond King being cut. Now, full circle moment, Desmond King, you're back on the Houston Texans. Shaq Griffin gets cut. And do we get to see more snaps from Desmond King?
You might have to.
He had 1 snap against the Jaguars game, 1st and 1, 1 second left before the half, and Desmond King makes, if not one of the biggest plays in the game in one snap, tackling the running back for a TFL and getting a great momentum swinging tackle to end the half,
Mm.
thinking, hey, I thought Texans were going to take it in the second half, man. I really did there. But the secondary, I'm looking at the slot position specifically. I just I that's where I have my worries for this secondary. Just Tavier Thomas, he's a fantastic tackler. Your best tackling cornerback on the team.
Mm-hmm.
He's fantastic at that. But coverage wise, I mean, we saw Xavier Hutchinson, a rookie, 6th round pick,
Break them.
eating his lunch all over training camp, all over the practice field. It was That's why I was like, man, I can't believe Tavier Thomas made this team after the performance we saw of him in
Mm-hmm.
training camp. And so, maybe does that translate to Desmond King getting more snaps? Are they maybe saying, oh, you know what, at this time of the season, thank you, Shaq Griffin. You're going to go ahead and go to a team that we thought you were going to go to a team that was going to be contending for the playoffs. Nope, he goes to the Carolina Panthers. Horrible. Just
Mm-hmm.
I feel for Shaq Griffin. Pour one out for Shaq Griffin, chat. He went from the Houston Texans to the Carolina Panthers. Poor guy.
Ooh.
And so, does it translate to Desmond King, getting some more snaps, starting snaps at slot? Maybe. Who knows?
Man, just crazy how we have another big game ahead of us. And when you look at what you are going up against experience wise, Sean Payton, Super Bowl winning
Mm.
head coach, Russell Wilson, Super Bowl winning quarterback. If the Houston Texans win this game, I'm gonna say this might be one of your biggest wins of the season based off of obviously their 5 game winning streak, but the amount of experience you have in the head coach and the quarterback area. I mean, this is the Houston Texans moment right here. Once again, this is how you bounce back from that crazy loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Say what you want about the refs, about Matt Amendola. We are now on to the Denver Broncos, and this is your moment to take a step forward into the wild card playoff spot.
Hey, man. Again, we've harped on this for what today and in other live streams and hell on our YouTube channels. Like we've harped on this. This
Mm.
is a big game for the Houston Texans. Another big game notched into the cap for the Houston Texans. And you mentioned it already. You mentioned it with Patrick Chiotti. We've been breaking the streaks, man.
That's
We're
it.
streak killers. Eat, sleep, break the streak. That's the motto on Sunday. It's a 5 game winning streak for the Denver Broncos. The Houston Texans, take care of business. The fate of the playoffs is in your hands right now. Take care of business. Sure, Sean Payton, all the experience in the world. Russell Wilson, all the experience in the world. Vance Joseph, he's got his guys playing really good defensively, and it looks like a tough test compared to when we were looking at this schedule. I was like, oh man, the
We said
Broncos.
6, 7 wins.
Yeah, oh yeah, I thought 6, 7 wins. I thought 7 or 8 was like the peak for this Texans team. They've already, met my expectations. So anything past it is just gravy at this point.
Mm.
And it's exciting to even be in this conversation. It's exciting to say, hey, Houston Texans win this game. They go 7-5. And now you got to look at eyeball the rest of the teams and what's going on. And when you're looking at it, you're going, man, Browns, Joe Flacco's the quarterback. I don't know about that. Great defense. Jets, stick a fork in them. Aaron Rodgers might be coming back. Cool. They might lose another few games before he gets back. Does he really want to come back if they're not in the playoff race? Nope. They better start winning soon. Steelers, don't scare me. We whooped their ass already. Bengals, don't scare me. We whooped their ass when they were healthy. Now they're hurt with no Joe Burrow. So Buffalo Bills, I'm always going to be afraid of the Bills just because of who they have on that team. But they're not performing well. They're
Mm.
just not. So now I'm looking at it like, okay, well, who else? The Colts? I want
Mm-hmm.
that rematch with the Colts. They played us at a good time. They didn't play us when we were ready. I'll say that right now.
Ooh,
The
week two.
Indianapolis Colts played us in week 2, and they better thank God there was not another quarter in that game, because that second half, the Houston Texans offense started looking real strong, and that should have made us look into that Jacksonville game week 3 going, man, I think the Houston Texans could pop off, and they used that second half against the Colts really strong game. Colts are a pesky team, but I think they faced us at a right time, and I think we're going to be playing for all the marbles at the end of the day.
Can you imagine week 18,
Again,
win and you're in? The amount of
remember,
stress we are getting already in year one is
yep.
insane, Harley. It's crazy. You have a lot of people mentioning CJ Shot unfollowing the Houston Texans, man. What do quick thoughts on that?
I don't even think he followed them to begin with. I don't even, to be honest, I don't really care about that. He's on my team. Like, it's not like he's going through any sort of contract struggles or there's any rumors of him getting traded. He's a rookie and he's on my team, and he
Mhm.
can't leave this team for the next at least 5 years. So, I'm not going to entertain that. It's a waste of my time.
Ooh, I'm so happy we don't have to think about stuff like that anymore.
Thank
Remember when
God.
we used to take lyrics to heart and try to break
Ridiculous.
down what they were trying to say? I mean, it's crazy the amount of influence these athletes have. But flash forward right now, I'm not gonna put anything into it. I mean, this is the best the Houston Texans have been in a very long time. And CJ Stroud just continues to show he is a professional guy. So stuff like that doesn't bother me. All might I brought it up because we've seen it for the past 10 minutes.
Yeah, everyone in the comment section.
Yeah,
Keep.
so
Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Oh,
yeah,
hey, we got to mention it, man.
yeah, so
We
much
are a
so he even
man of the
checked the
people.
group chat. I was like, did he unfollow? But nonetheless, man, that's childish stuff that we don't have to worry about now that we have an actual quarterback in CJ Stroud. But Harley, it is crazy to think about that our fate is in our hands. Because usually, as history has showed us, the Houston Texans seem to crumble when the fate of their future is in their hands. And it's like I don't want to fall back into that. I don't want to say the same old Texans because I've heard that a lot this year. I heard it on Sunday. I actually feel confident. I do. And I think the Bengals game was big, yes, but after losing to Jacksonville, you follow it up with a win against the hottest team in the NFL. I'm gonna start calling us, the legend killers, Randy Orton. Shout out to him being back, breaking the streak. Oh, that was Brock Lesnar, right? Right? We might have to call ourselves Brock Lesnar after this if we beat the Denver Broncos.
It's true, man.
But I want to get to the running game.
Okay.
I want to know how you think it's gonna play out. Do you see another 6 and 5 carry day for Devin Singletary and Damian Pierce? I think it's gonna be more like 17-17.
Ooh, I don't know if it's going to be 34 carries run game in total, but I do want Devin Singletary to get the majority of these carries.
Mm,
I'd rather him be 65-35 at this point, or 60-40. Just some one unlucky play with Damian Pierce kind of slipping or probably hitting the feet of his offensive lineman, where he could have really broke a big gain off where he hit the hole. Don't know if he slipped on the turf or if it was, again, clipping his feet with one of our offensive linemen. But that was really one of his best runs besides the getting tackled in the backfield. Nope, he broke it and then kind of scurried into a quick 4 yards. Damian Pierce is cool for the short yardage gains and stuff,
mhm.
but it's at the point now where, what's the excuse for this guy? This guy just doesn't seem like he fits the scheme. He's a downhill runner. He's a power back. And, we're looking for a scat back, zone running back, that one cut kind of
Mhm.
guy. Just, it's not working with Damian Pierce. And so Devin Singletary deserves the majority of these snaps. I'm looking at least 15 carries for Devin Singletary. It's a good habit for this Texans offense. If they can get the run game going, as we all know, we know
Mm.
this from the Gary Kubiak days. But you get the run game going that pairs well with your passing offense, you're almost unbeatable. I mean, I'll say that confidently. We went 12-4 with Gary Kubiak's Arian Foster and Matt Schaub's passing attack. So who's to say? Sure, Devin Singletary ain't no Arian Foster, but Matt Schaub ain't no C.J. Stroud.
Mm.
So hey, some things balance each other out. No Arian Foster, oh, but we got a C.J. Stroud. And this wide receiving core, everybody gets a slice of the pie, man. Everybody, hey, you get one, you get one, you get one, and that's what C.J. Stroud does. So yeah, this running game, I think you have to have success in order to win this game. You have to. Um, or you just rely solely on the back of CJ Stroud. Sooner or later, you're going to get some back spasms for carrying this team, man.
Any worries about the O line? Because it will be once again another starting one. Laramie Tunsil at left tackle, Juice Scruggs left guard, Michael Dieter center, Shaq Mason right guard, George Fan right tackle, Titus Howard out for the year. That hurts. I'm not sure if we addressed it. I mean, by ourselves,
Yeah.
but big loss for the Houston Texans O line. Not giving up on Titus Howard. I think he needs to be at right tackle, not at left guard. But are you worried about this new offensive line on Sunday?
Not at all, actually.
Okay.
Titus Howard wasn't performing well at left guard, and we all know that he wasn't performing well. He's a right tackle. That's why. Anybody that wants to question Titus Howard's game performances, he doesn't play left guard. He's not a left guard. He's being a good soldier and being the versatile guy that they want to call him. He's a right tackle at the end of the day.
Mm.
And so that's hence why he's had bad performances. So I'm not going crazy about it. I am upset that he is out for the year. I don't like that to happen to anybody, of course. But does it really weaken our offensive line? Like, besides just having depth, like, does it weaken our offensive line?
Mm.
If not, does it make it better? Because Titus Howard isn't a left guard.
The
And
hot take right there.
Juice Scruggs is a versatile player. Like, we know this from Penn State. He played center. He also played guard. Michael Dieter played center. He also plays guard. Michael Dieter's been playing really good at the center position. Juice Scruggs, when he filled in for Titus Howard, played really good at left guard in that time.
Mm.
Laramie Tunsil was the one that had a bad game against Josh Allen, and Josh Allen got Defense Player of the Week, and it sucks to admit that, but the Jaguars made plays when they needed to defensively. So as long as Laramie Tunsil, who we all know is top 5 left tackle in the football in the NFL, he
Deserves
goes
bad
back
games.
to, yeah, it's one bad game. He goes back to performing the way he's supposed to perform. Well, okay, I got him. Juice Scruggs played well. Still rookie, second game, but he had a good performance this last week. Michael Dieter's been doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq Mason, okay, get back to playing solid football again. He had a little bit of a struggle this last week as well. And George Fant has been holding it down at right tackle. Overall, I think the offensive line actually might be better
Mm.
than what it was last week. And if anything, that bodes well for the Houston Texans in CJ Stroud and the run game.
Mm. Harley, before we leave, I need you to hype up Houston. I need you to tell us why we are going to win on Sunday. I need you to tell us why, with the fate of our future in our hands, we are going to prevail. Harley, look at me, bro. Once again, this young team is in a big moment. Harley, I go back to when we were at training camp and we had this conversation. And I said, man, do you think this is worth it? I asked you that on Saturday, the day that Titus Howard broke his hand, when we were in 105-degree heat, just the sun beating down. I asked you, is it going to be worth it? Harley, you looked at me and said, yes, I think it does. Tell me why the Houston Texans are going to take this W
You got to
on
get out of the
Wednesday.
mud. Right now, you are in the mud. You are in 6-6. You are in the 5-6, 6-6 teams. You don't want to be in those mud anymore. You get your ass out the mud real quick and go on in NRG, and you got them fans behind you. Sure, the Denver Broncos got that 5-game winning streak. They got Vance Joseph and Sean Payton doing their thing. Russell Wilson doing his thing. 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. How are you gonna respond? You took an L last week. You want to blame the refs all you want. You want to blame the refs. No, screw that. Nuh-uh. You go in there, you punch them in the mouth, and you do your thing. The Houston Texans know they got to win this game. And you know DeMeco Ryans is ready. There's
Mm,
no coach unlike DeMeco Ryans. There's not many coaches that can come from a bounce back win. And DeMeco Ryans has done this competitively, consistently, gotten the bounce back wins. This is a bounce back win that is going to happen in H-Town. We are going to I am going to say it. The confidence meter is filling up right now. The
mm.
Houston Texans dominate the Denver Broncos. Am I going to Nick level 35-3? Absolutely not. But I will say the Houston Texans dropped 28 points against this Denver Broncos defense, and they hold them 28-16. The Houston Texans defense, you got the whole secondary live. They are ready. They are healthy. They are going to shut down Russell Wilson and the gang. The Houston Texans get to 7-5. They get that must-need win, and they get back into the playoff race where they belong. And you cannot wait as a Texans fan to see the future of this team because it is bright. We are a diamond right now. Everybody wants to hop on the train. Choo-choo, everyone. Everyone wants to get on this train. Get on the board right now. It's going to be 7-5 after Sunday, boys. Let's get this dub.
I leave you with one thing. If you are a Houston Texans player, look at the back of your jersey, look at your number, and you look up the history of that number for the Texans, and what you will find is nothing. You won't find anything. This is where you start making your mark. This is where you start making your number relevant in the city of Houston. Once again, no one expected us to be here. We were supposed to be the worst team in the NFL. And once again, we find ourselves with an opportunity to put us into the playoffs. Houston Texans, start building your legacy. CJ Stroud's already doing it. Laramie Tunsil's already doing it. Do not let them get there before you start itching your name in Houston Texans history. And it starts on Sunday against the Denver Broncos. I am going 28-21. I think CJ Stroud has a masterful game. And I think this defense, I'm going to go ahead and say a Jimmy Ward turnover.
Mm.
And after this game, the battle's not done, Harley. The battle
Mm-hmm.
won't be done. You still got to secure your spot. But damn it, I'm going to feel good. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode was brought to you by Bet Online. I am Ruben Calaville. Find me on YouTube. Just type in 713 Houston Sports. Now on Twitter, 713 HOU Sports. That is Harley at the lead underscore on Houston on Twitter and on YouTube. Guys, y'all have a very blessed rest of your Friday night.